Hi, I'm Becca Butler-Dines. So the focus that I had on this report was majority of crunching some numbers. When we were contacted by DHOL originally, one of the reasons that they felt that the Right to Arrest Act failed last year was due to the fact they didn't have an ability to articulate the financial implications of criminalizing homelessness. So that was one of our main goals to accomplish this past 6 months. We focused specifically on Denver's cost as a case study. We did this because Denver had the best data in terms of breaking out specifically how many citations were issued overall under a specific ordinance, how many of those citations were specifically identified as being given to someone who identifies as homeless, or the word that Denver uses is transient. And then further, we were able to gain the case numbers from every single citation within 5 ordinances that we identified, and we hand searched each case number on Denver County Court's website, and to learn their disposition as well as the amount of jail time that they served due to that citation. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this. I'm sure you will all have questions, and so we have time to answer some of those. We also on the website have our 3 Excel spreadsheets that really break out our math and our methodology, and further that is in the back of the report. But just to explain a little bit about what we did. So we took Denver's information and we identified 5 of their ordinances that we felt criminalized homelessness and would be, basically when we researched, it would be the most specific to homelessness. Trespassing is a huge issue in Denver. The city of Denver or the police choose to issue trespassing tickets. Yet, when we went to do our research, we felt that for every trespassing ticket we could identify that was given to possibly someone who was homeless, we identified just as many that someone was not homeless. And so we chose not to have that be in our 5 list to analyze the cost, because we didn't want our data to be skewed in that form. So we chose the camping ban, the park curfews and closures, panhandling, solicitation, and urinating in public. Just to understand a little bit about the numbers that we were going off of, Michael spoke about them earlier. The camping ban in 2014, so we only focused on 2014 to kind of come up with our base number, and then we extrapolated that to further years and then to other cities. Okay, so the camping ban in 2014, and remember this ban has only been around for a couple of years. 2014 is the only year thus far, not counting 2015, that Denver has data of issuing a citation under the camping ban. There were 15 citations issued total. 14 of them were issued to individuals that were homeless. Under curfews and closures, there were 998 citations issued, and 600 of those were issued to homeless individuals. For panhandling, 358, 294 of those were to homeless individuals. Solicitation on or near a street, 22, 17 of those. And lastly, urinating in public, there's 491 issued by the city of Denver. 244 of those were issued to homeless individuals. So we followed some of the methodology that we had gained from the Western Regional Advocacy Group, as well as other reports that have tried to analyze the cost. So we broke out the enforcement costs into 3 separate categories: policing, adjudication, and incarceration. My lovely graph over here, or chart, sorry you can't see them on the PowerPoint. But breaking out policing, so policing is in purple here. The cost of policing includes the cost of issuing a citation, as well as the cost of arresting an individual due to a failure to appear. So when we went online and we started searching each case disposition, we weren't able to identify if someone was arrested on the spot or at a later point. Because we tried to be as conservative in our number crunching as possible, we took every citation that had a failure to appear. As many of you know, a lot of these citations result in a failure to appear because the individuals who are being issued them do not have modes of transportation to get to the courthouse, do not have services to allow them to attend court. So what happens is they're issued a failure to appear when they do not appear in court on their summons date, and then a warrant is issued for their arrest. We calculated the cost of arrest in the policing, but only on the number of failures to appear. The cost in 2014, the total cost of policing for these 5 ordinances was $260,000. I would also like to just preface that we really tried to be conservative. We tried to be very, I guess, better word said, like choosy. And we tried to be extremely picky in what we calculated because we didn't want our numbers to be able to stand up and hold up. So we do feel that all of these numbers that we present in our report and today are under-inclusive, as we've already spoken about. So moving to adjudication. So adjudication is the court costs. It does not include the public defender. Because oftentimes an individual who receives a citation like this and who goes to court will have to wait a week or so to be assigned a public defender. Denver does have a really unique experience in the sense that they do have a municipal public defender's office, which not all municipalities have. On average, the city of Denver calculated that it costs $174 a court case in Denver's general sessions, which is their municipal court. So calculating that for 1,169 citations that were issued under those 5 ordinances in 2014, Denver spent $203,406 in 2014. And then finally, incarceration. As many of you know, these ordinances have a maximum specifically within Denver of a $999 fine and an up to a year in jail. Yet we rarely saw that implementation or sentence. What we saw is 1 to 2 to 3 days in jail. On average, out of the 1,169 citations that we analyzed, the average was 4.61 days spent in jail per citation. It costs a little bit more than $53 a day to house someone in Denver County jail. So calculating that, we got to $277,695.01 on incarceration costs for 2014. So we took all of that and we added it up to get our total cost of enforcement for 2014, which was $742,790.18. We applied then this methodology and extrapolated it to all of the citations that were issued between 2010 and 2013 and added that together to get a total cost that Denver spent from 2010 to 2014 by enforcing these anti-homeless ordinances was $3,236,382.28. So basically a little bit more than $3.2 million. We took that information and we wanted to then it kind of extrapolate it to get an example of what are other cities spending. We recognize that the city of Denver, what they spend on in 24 hours for 1 day in jail is different. So we took the numbers of each, we took Denver, Boulder, Colorado Springs, Durango, Fort Collins, and Grand Junction, and we identified the most discriminatory anti-homeless laws that they had. So that included their panhandling, their camping. Those we felt we could guarantee explicitly targeted homeless individuals. So we took that information and we applied the cost and extrapolated out to Denver, Boulder, and the rest of the cities to get a total of, in 2010 to 2014, these cities spent $5.1 million enforcing these ordinances. I would just like to leave off with the fact that, yeah, $5.1 million does not seem like a lot in the sense of a whole statewide budget. Yet, we also identified a huge amount of much more cost-effective as well as morally acceptable and effective in the sense of long-term solutions for alternatives that not only Denver, but all the other municipalities should be focusing on. Putting that money towards long-term solutions is a lot better direction that the state of Colorado should be going. I'm going to now introduce Ellie. He focused on the constitutionality of these ordinances, and he's going to speak now. Thank you.